Here, and we're here today for the official weigh-in for our big night of fights taking place at the Ovo Arena, Wembley, on Saturday night. Now, it's all being brought to you courtesy of Mr. Eddie Hearn of Matchroom Boxing, and all the action will go on live around the world exclusively on DAZN. We're sponsored by Bedfred, FCI Markets, Val Nutrition, Stagefront, and JD Sports. It's a great fight card. We have 8 fights on the card. We've got 3 title fights, and at the top of the bill, it's the return of the body snatcher against a very tough, undefeated, rising heavyweight. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let's go ahead and start this weigh-in. We're going to go ahead and bring the fighters up to the stage at this time so they can face the scale and face each other. Our first contest, 6 rounds in the heavyweight division. Making his way to the stage at this time, his professional record, 3 wins, 9 defeats, 1 draw, with 2 wins coming by way of knockout. He fights out of Kharkiv, Ukraine. Please welcome Pavlo Krolenko. And his opponent now making his way to the stage from Dublin, Ireland. He's undefeated, 3-0, 2 knockouts. Ladies and gentlemen, Thomas Carty. Now to the scale, Pavlo Krolenko. (17 stone, 4 pounds for Pavlo Krolenko, 17-4. And out of the scale, the undefeated heavyweight from Dublin, Ireland, Thomas Carty. (18 stone, bang on, 18 stone, bang on for Thomas Carty. Carty v. Krolenko, 6 rounds heavyweights, Matchroom Boxing, live on DAZN from London, England.
Well, Thomas Carty was only out once this year on the Wood-Conlon undercard, but has done 12 straight weeks of camp with Anthony Joshua in the build-up to the Alexander Usyk fight in the summer. So he feels like he hasn't had as much ring time, but he's had plenty of rounds with some of the best in the world. That's important, isn't it?
Yeah, I've seen him over the last few years. Well, you haven't seen him in the ring. He's been in training camps with legitimate, Lawrence Okoli, Derek Chisora. He's getting quality rounds with quality heavyweights and cruiserweights. So he's super sharp. He's got that long southpaw style. Good feet for a big man. Who was saying on the scales, he's in very good proportions. He's not too bulky. He's athletic and he can move in and out of range. That's his gift, I think. It's his footwork for a big guy. If you've got quick feet in and out.
You're impressed with his big ankles.
His big ankles, wrist. He's a real heavyweight, 18 stone solid.
Yeah,
no junk on him whatsoever. He's just ready. He's ready for action. I'm really looking forward to seeing him get going.
Yeah, his fourth contest against Pavlo Krolenko from Kharkiv in the Ukraine. First on Before the Bell tomorrow night. I'll be calling that with another heavyweight, Big Johnny Fisher, before our broadcast segment. Another young prospect. He's been getting plenty of great sparring. He's young George Liddard under the guidance of Tony Sims and Kev Mitchell. He's in second on Before the Bell, and he and his opponent Nikola Matic both ready to weigh in. So let's head back to the stage.
Ladies and gentlemen, next contest, 4 rounds in the middleweight division. Now making his way to stage is a 68-fight veteran fighting out of Chaplinia, Bosnia and Herzegovina. Please welcome Nikola Matic. And his opponent now making his way to the stage Saturday night, he'll be making his much-anticipated professional debut. Here's the 4-time national champion, the 2-time international gold medalist, fighting out of Billericay, Essex, England, George Liddard. Now to the scale, Nikola Matic. $11 stone, 7 pounds for Nikola Matic. And now to the scale for the first time as a professional, George Liddard. $11 stone, 8 pounds for George Liddard. 11 stone, 8. Liddard v. Matic, 4 rounds, middleweights, matchroom boxing, live on DAZN from London, England.
So 20-year-old George Liddard came through Billericay and Wickford ABC as a boy. Good amateur pedigree in the schoolboys, won a number of national titles. You know a bit about this kid under the guidance of Kevin Mitchell.
Yeah, I mean, first off, I remember speaking to Tony Sims about him, and Tony's not one to blow smoke up anyone's backside unless they can really fight. He's impressed with his ability first and foremost, but I think it's his work ethic. For a young lad, he wants to improve. He puts in the miles, he puts in the work, and you can't teach that. No. You've either got that attitude or you haven't, and yeah, I think he's got a very bright future in front of him.
Good stuff. Well, we had a bit of a change around because his stablemate Craig Richards, of course, fell ill, and that fight with Richard Bolotnik sadly is off. But it does mean that a couple of the fighters from before the bell have been bumped up to the main bill, including Mark Dickinson and Chev Clark. Dickinson, one of the brilliant amateurs from the Berkeley Boxing Club, turned over under the guidance of Ben Davison. Stablemate of Pat McCormack also on the bill. Mark Dickinson will be opening proceedings against one of Robert Hodgins' fighters, Gideon Oniyonani, live on DAZN 7 o'clock tomorrow night. Both fighters are ready to weigh in, so let's head back to the stage.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next contest, 4 rounds in the middle, 6 rounds in the middleweight division. Now making his way to the stage, his professional record, 4 wins against 2 defeats. He's fighting out of Chatham. Please welcome Gideon Juice Oniyonani. And his opponent now making his way to the stage. His young professional record thus far perfect. 3 fights, 3 victories, one of them coming by way of knockout. He fights out of West Rainton, Tyne and Ware. Here's the 2017 European Youth and Commonwealth Youth gold medalist. Please welcome Mark Boo Boo Dickinson. And out of the scale, Gideon Juice Oniyonani. $11 stone, 9 pounds for Oniyonani. 11 stone, 9 for Oniyonani. And now to the scale, Mark Boo Boo Dickinson. $11 stone, 7 pounds for Mark Boo Boo Dickinson. 11 stone, 10 pounds. 11 stone, 10. Dickinson versus Oniyonani, 6 rounds middleweights, matchroom boxing live on DAZN from London, England.
Well, you see the hug between the pair of them because they know each other very, very well. Robert Hodgins and Ben Davison will be in opposite corners for these two tomorrow night, but they'll be co-training Fabio Wardley and teaming up later on in the night. It's a bit of an unusual circumstance, these. They haven't sparred each other before, these two. Oniyonani fought well against Herbert Conceição last time out, took an Olympic gold medalist, an up-and-coming prospect, on 2 weeks' notice, and did the 6 rounds with him as well.
Yeah. Look, I spoke to him yesterday after the press conference, and he understands there's no pressure on him. No. All the pressure's on Dickinson, who, may I add, is a very, very good fighter, an exceptional talent. But Oniyonani, he can just go in there and express himself. You know, just do his thing, worry about his fight. But like I say, Dickinson's a very good fighter. He's a vicious puncher, always looking to hurt his opponent, and he's a very good prospect.
And speaking of always looking to hurt the opponent, Big Chev Clark has been bumped up to the main card as well, up against Jose Ulrich. Both of them are ready to weigh in, so let's head back to the stage.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next contest, 8 rounds in the cruiserweight division. Now making his way to the stage, his professional record, 17 wins, 5 defeats. He has 6 wins coming by way of knockout. He fights out of Maria Juana Santa Fe, Argentina. Please welcome Jose El Tigre Ulrich. And his opponent now making his way to the stage. His young professional record thus far perfect. 3 fights, 3 victories. All 3 victories coming by way of knockout. Fighting out of Gravesend, Kent, England, here is C4, Big Chev, Siobhan Clark. And now to the scale, El Tigre, Jose Ulrich. "13 stone, 13 pounds for Jose Ulrich." And now to the scale, the undefeated explosive C4 Big Chev Clark. "14 stone, 3 pounds for Siobhan Clark. 14 stone, 3 pounds. Clark versus Ulrich, 8 rounds cruiserweights, matchroom boxing, live on DAZN from London, England.
Well, Chev Clark always in tremendous shape, as is Jose Ulrich. And David, obviously you were at the bigger end of the cruiserweight spectrum before you moved to heavyweight. Not all about height and reach. Chev Clark is bullish and he's strong.
Yeah, no doubt. You had John McCormack. He was world champion for many years. The guy I defeated, he was only for 5'8", 5'9". So you can, or I always struggled against shorter guys, Jacob Fragameni, guys who could get into range and with his peekaboo style, let those body shots fly. Nice relaxed style. I like what he's doing, and his style is one that can go through the levels.
Good stuff. Well, Sandy Ryan banished some demons in between the first and second Erica Farias fights this year. She's up against a very, very good former 308 world champion in Ana Esther Sanchez. 3rd on the bill, live on DAZN tomorrow night. Both fighters ready to weigh in our first women's contest of the night.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next contest, 10 rounds for the WBC International Super Lightweight Championship. And now making her way to the stage, please welcome the challenger. Her professional record, 21 victories, 5 defeats with 13 wins coming by way of knockout. Here is the former 4-division champion, presentando de Pergamino, Buenos Aires, Argentina, Anaí, La Indiacita Sanchez. And now making her way to the stage, the defending titleist. Her professional record, 4 wins against 1 defeats. She fights out of Derby. Here is the reigning and defending WBC International Super Lightweight Champion, Sandy Medieval Ryan. Now to the scale, La Indiecita, Anaí Sanchez. Nine stone, 12 pounds, 12 ounces for the challenger, Anaí La Indiecita Sanchez. And now to the scale, the defending titleist. Please welcome Sandy Medieval Ryan. 9 stone, 13 pounds, 7 ounces for Sandy Ryan. Sandy Ryan, Anaí Sanchez, 10 rounds for the WBC International Super Lightweight Championship. Matchroom Boxing live on DAZN from London, England.
Well, chaps, we know it's not as easy to bridge the gap between kind of domestic and world level for the women's, but this is jumping in at the deep end again for Sandy Ryan, isn't it? This is high risk.
Yeah, Sanchez has been there before many times, three-time world champion, but she's not that active. You know, she's getting her at the right time, and that's what you need to do with the matchmaking. You've got to pick the right girls at the right time. And Sandy, if she's as good as she believes she is, and we all believe she is, she should be able to tick this box and then show that she is world level, legitimate world level. She had that one loss, but she avenged it, which was good to see. But let's just see where she goes from here.
Similar performance required in that Farias rematch. And like you just said there, I do think it's brilliant matchmaking, I really do. And I do think this fight's going to deliver.
Well, Pat McCormack, Olympic silver medalist, had a brilliant Tokyo campaign. He's blitzed through his first 2 opponents. His third, a little bit more experience in Christian Andino from Buenos Aires. They are scheduled for 6 rounds. Whether it goes that far is another story altogether. Just hearing the fighters are getting ready backstage, and when they are, we'll throw over to them. How impressed have you been with Pat McCormack? I mean, not just in the amateurs, but as a pro so far.
I mean, I think Eddie said it yesterday that he's a promoter. He's going to say it, but I have to agree with him. He is one of the best talents out there. One of the best talents we've seen in a long time. And you know when there's a master at work, when they make what they do look easy. And Pat, though he's only had 2 minutes or whatever as a professional, what he's done in the amateurs was so impressive. I'm going to say it now. I think he goes all the way.
Okay, Christian Andino, his opponent, 16-5-2. Can he put any more resistance up than the first 2 opponents? Don't hold your breath. Both fighters are ready to weigh in.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next contest, 6 rounds in the welterweight division. And now making his way to the stage, his professional record, 16 wins, 5 defeats, 2 draws, with 2 wins coming by way of knockout. Here is the former WBA Federball Super Welterweight Champion, fighting out of Villa Corosa, Buenos Aires, Argentina. Here is El Elegante, Cristian Nicolas Andino. And his opponent now making his way to the stage. His young professional record thus far perfect. 2 fights, 2 victories. Both of those victories coming by way of knockout. Fighting out of Washington in the northeast of England, here's the 2018 Commonwealth Games gold medalist, the 2019 European Games gold medalist, and the 2020 Olympic silver medalist, Pat McCormack. McCormack. And out of the scale, Christian Nicholas Andino. $10 stone, 6 pounds for El Elegante Andino. And out of the scale, the young undefeated Pat McCormack. $10 stone, 12 pounds for Pat McCormack. 10 stone, 12 pounds. McCormack v. Andino, 6 rounds welterweights, Matchroom Boxing live on DAZN from London, England.
So Pat McCormack's third fight of his pro career against Christian Andino, fourth on the bill, live on DAZN tomorrow night, before our big British heavyweight title clash, one of the oldest and most prestigious belts in British boxing, and what an opportunity for these two young fighters. David, I know particularly you're looking to see the shape of Nathan Gorman on the scales to give us an indication of how his preparation's been. He's been doing S&C for the first time in about a year. He looks well, sort of clothed. We're going to see how he looks on the scales.
Yeah, you can't hide from the scales. You get on the scales, you can see whether you can tell whether someone's paid the price or not. Some people have a different physique than others. Some people have got naturally low body fat, some high. But when your performances don't go the way you want them to, and you've got 20 pounds or 30 pounds of unnecessary body fat, are you going to take that off to see how you are leaner and meaner? You know, doing any type of performance sport, adding additional body fat, 20, 30 pounds, considerable weights. If you would just carry a backpack around with 30 pounds in, you'd get tired. That's what's happening in the past. If he's come in today, you said he's got a strength and conditioning coach, we should be able to see that. You know, you can make amazing changes with the human body by manipulating food, but your want to be able to be a successful athlete needs to be more than your want to have that momentary mouth pleasure that sends you in the wrong direction on the scales.
Well, he said he's in the best condition of his life going into this fight. Fabio Wardley is as well, all set for a brilliant chief support at Wembley Arena tomorrow night. Both fighters are ready to weigh in.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's now time to weigh in the chief support of the evening. And what a fight it is, as Mr. Eddie Hearn of Matchroom Boxing, in association with Wasserman Boxing, are proud to present 12 rounds for the vacant British Heavyweight Championship. And now making his way to the stage, his professional record, 19 wins, only 1 defeat. He has 13 wins coming by way of knockout. Saturday night, he'll be making his second attempt at the Lord Lonsdale 14 stone, 4 pound strap. Fighting out of Nantwich, here is the reigning IBF International Heavyweight Champion, Nathan Gorman. Gorman. And his opponent now making his way to the stage. His professional record, a perfect one. 14 fights, 14 victories, 13 of his 14 wins coming by way of knockout. fighting out of and proudly representing his home of Ipswich. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the reigning and the undefeated English heavyweight champion, Fabio Wardley. Wardley. Now to the scale, Nathan Gorman. $19 stone 5 pounds for Nathan Gorman. 19 stone 5 pounds. And now to the scale, the undefeated and hard-hitting heavyweight from Ipswich, Fabio Wardley. $17 stone 2 pounds for Fabio Wardley. 17 stone 2 pounds. Wardley v. Gorman, 12 rounds for the vacant British Heavyweight Championship. Chief support Saturday night, Matchroom Boxing in association with Wasserman Boxing, live on DAZN from London, England.
What's his weight compared to? Okay, just doing a little bit of quick maths, converting the stone to pounds. I'm still not quite sure why they do it in stone, because I think everyone works in pounds these days in boxing, but translates to about 273 for Nathan Gorman and just over 240 for Wardley. I think that makes Gorman, it's not a career heaviest, he was about the same for the Richard Lartey fight, about the same for the Pavel Sauer fight, but I'd say body composition wise, he looks better than he has ever looked before.
He looked big across the chest, his arms, wasn't so much around the midsection, which that was the obvious thing before, but obviously he's been pushed some weights around, obviously getting in the right nutrition, and hopefully that transfers into this performance because he's going to need it.
Yeah.
Fabio is a very, very special talent, no real amateur pedigree, but he come through the white collar scene somehow.
Yeah.
Never seen that done before, but he's making it happen.
What do you make of the odds? Wardley's huge favourite.
I understand it because he looks that good, and Gorman's only sort of expedition outside of the fringe level, British level, he's come unstuck in a very quick and conclusive way. So I understand why the odds are what the odds. Plus, you look at Gorman's physique, you kind of half write him off sometimes, unnecessarily, because he has got good boxing skills when he uses them. Quick hands, decent feet as well. But can he put it all together on the big night? He hasn't done it so far. But Fabio hasn't had the opportunity yet. This is Fabio's opportunity to really make a name for himself.
See that Wardley's one-punch knockout power, and Ben Davison spoke about how hard he hits. He's probably one of the reasons why he's a big favourite, because if he lands at any point in the fight, we saw what happened when Dubois landed on Gorman. He may be in better shape, but your chin and your resistance is not going to be much different. That could be one of the reasons. But 33, 34 pound weight difference. And Gorman said yesterday he senses if this fight goes to the middle round, starts to go late, that's when he senses that's when things could change. How big is that? It's a lot of weight, isn't it?
Oh, it is a lot of weight. It's a lot of weight to put a dent into, but it's a lot of weight to carry also.
Yeah.
I feel I fancy Fabio later on here. I just feel it's important for him to hold the centre of the ring, be the bully in the fight, don't do anything silly. I feel the right hand could do the damage. The shot that I'm impressed with Gorman is the sort of the counter left hook.
Yep.
And I just feel
shot.
It is his money shot on the back foot, likes to walk opponents onto it, but I just feel Fabio's going to get there with the right hand first.
Is it a 30 pound advantage, weight advantage or weight disadvantage?
Good question. It is a good question. I'm not sure. It could play out either way, obviously. Yeah. I just feel when you're in there with someone as fast as Fabio, you know yourself, speed's so important at that top level, and I just feel that could be the difference as the fight goes on.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it'll be very interesting to see how that plays out. British heavyweight title on the line. And then, of course, we're just now waiting for our main eventers. Story of the week. These two on the way somewhere. Dillian Whyte coming off the back of that third career defeat. Jermaine Franklin, an unbeaten American. And in some ways, a bit of an unknown quantity.
Yep.
Has beaten some reasonably good fringe world level guys stateside, but nobody that you look at on the record. Look at Jerry Forrest, decent southpaw, but no one that sets your world alight. This is his chance to put a proper name on his record, isn't it?
Look, I've been impressed with what I've seen at the level he's competed at. My big question, and probably my only question when I look at this fight is, can Franklin hurt Dillian Whyte? I'm not so sure. I'm not saying he can't, but I've yet to be proved that he would be able to. And I feel if you're looking to beat someone like Dillian Whyte and get to that sort of championship level, you've got to be able to put a dent in your opponent. And I just don't know if he can.
Do you think Dillian's punch resistance after coming off 2 knockout defeats in his last 3 fights will affect his punch resistance?
And a lot of hard fights too.
Giving Franklin that more confidence. So maybe they're looking at it the other way.
What I'm happy with when I look at Dillian Whyte is the hunger's still there, the desire's still there. It would have been quite easy, I feel, looking at Dillian Whyte's career with the money he's earned, the fights that he's had. You know, he's sort of, though he's fallen short at that world level, it's a career you can be proud of. But I'm sort of happy, and I like what I see, and I like what I'm hearing with regards to ambition. He still wants to be a world champion. He's 2 or 3 fights off of that, but a win here, potentially the Anthony Joshua fight where there's so much on the line with that fight, potentially a world title fight for the winner, so it's so much to play for it.
A lot to prove to the public, but a lot for Dillian Whyte to prove to himself, David, after the Fury fight. After all the build-up, I know he was silent there, but I think people expected a little more of him. Were you surprised what a kind of damp squib it ended up being, given the kind of warrior he's proven himself to be in the past?
Yeah, I was surprised. I was surprised, and I think that was part of the game plan, was to do something no one was expecting, and for him to turn southpaw in the first round against Tyson Fury. Who would have pictured that happening? Nobody, but he wasn't able to use that to his advantage. He wasn't able to get a foothold in the fight at any stage. It was kind of, he allowed Tyson Fury to ease into the rhythm of the fight and to walk him onto a big uppercut, and that's all it was. You're right, it was a bit of a damn squid. It didn't really capture the public's imagination. It wasn't an exciting fight. He wants to change that now.
He needs a bit of needle as well, I think, Dillian Whyte. He was very nice, wasn't he, Tyson Fury, in the build-up to that fight. And I just think it was a little bit, I think it confused Dillian Whyte a little bit, but he's fired up for this one.
He certainly is. Both fighters fired up. Unbeaten American Jermaine Franklin, Dillian Whyte from London will do battle in our main event tomorrow night, and both fighters are ready to weigh in.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, from Wembley, London, England, it's now time to weigh in the main event of the evening. As Mr. Eddie Hearn from Matchroom Boxing, in association with Dimitri Salita of Salita Promotions, are proud to present 12 rounds of boxing in an international heavyweight contest. And now making his way to the stage, please welcome the undefeated fighter, fighting from Saginaw, Michigan, 21-0, 14 knockouts. Here is the 989 assassin, Jermaine Franklin. And his opponent now making his way to the stage, his professional record, 28 wins, 3 defeats. He has 19 wins coming by way of knockout. Here is the former British heavyweight champion, the former WBO International Heavyweight Champion, and the former WBC Interim World Heavyweight Champion, fighting out of Brixton, London, England. Here is Dillian, the Body Snatcher Whyte. Now to the scale, the 989 assassin, Jermaine Franklin. From Saginaw, Michigan, USA, the undefeated heavyweight Jermaine, the 989 assassin Franklin.
18 stone 5 pounds for Jermaine Franklin. 18 stone 5 for the 989 assassin. And now to the scale, ladies and gentlemen, the body snatcher, Dillian Whyte. 17 stone, 13 pounds for Dillian Whyte. 17 stone, 13 pounds for the body snatcher, Dillian.
I think this is a fight he kind of just wants to get out of the way so he can challenge the likes of
Which are the dangerous fights sometimes.
Exactly. These are the banana skins. So, look, he's got to look good. I feel he's got to look good, Dillian Whyte. And I'm not so sure if Franklin, the man to look good against. He's a very good fighter. He's slick, he's quick, but it's that lack of power that I feel could be the downfall for Franklin.
All right, Darren, cheers. David, you'll be joining us with the broadcast team tomorrow night. Look forward to it. Thanks for your company this afternoon, gents. Thanks for your company at home as well. 6 fights on our card, starting at 7 o'clock with Mark Dickinson tomorrow night. Chev Clark in action after that. Sandy Ryan against Iniesta Sanchez. Pat McCormack, Olympic silver medalist, against Christian Andino. Fabio Wardley and Nathan Gorman contest a vacant British title. An unbeaten American, Jermaine Franklin, heads into the Lion's Den against Dillian Whyte to challenge Whyte's, I guess, career and see if he can get things back on track under the guidance of new trainer Buddy McGirt. All live on DAZN tomorrow from Wembley Stadium. Thanks for your company this afternoon. We will see you on Fight Night.
The mindset of a champion.
I survived so much things in life.
A desire to be the best.
My mindset is to always bring
Fight the best.
maximum rage and violence into the ring.
There'll always be bumps in the road.
One fight can change everything, man.
But redemption only tastes sweeter. The big fights keep coming.
Everyone write me off. I just keep showing up.
We ain't doing no running. Our destiny is to rule the world. And then you hear the call.
No more talking. Time to do what I do best.
Let's go! I'm ready!